Okay, blessings, beloveds. It's me, Lori Spagna, here with you today. I want to chat with you briefly today about protecting your energy, particularly on the Lion's Gate. And I want to give some clarity on the Lion's Gate portal that perhaps people are not always aware of. It's becoming more and more popular. And I think it requires some information because there's a lot of misinformation. And just last week, I was actually in a crystal bowl sound bath event. And what was really interesting was the people in the room knew about Lionsgate, but they didn't really fully understand it. So the reason it's called Lionsgate is because it's when the sun is at its peak in Leo season. And usually that's somewhere, it depends on the degree if you're in astrology, but there's a lot of solar energy coming through. And that solar energy, it's usually like at its peak somewhere around 15 degrees, right? And at that period of time, the sun, which is also called Solaris, the sun is what gives life, part of what gives life. It's not all that gives life, but we need the sun to survive, right? And the sun helps plants grow. It helps nurture things. It gives us vitamin D, which we need to survive in the physical world. So, and it gives us energy, right? When the sun is up, we have energy. You know, in regions of the country where the sun is up all day. I once traveled to Alaska. I was there. I couldn't sleep because it was summertime. There was no darkness, right? And then at the same time, conversely, if there's no sun in areas of the country, they sometimes get depression or seasonal depressive disorder, right? So the sun powers us up on that day or during that time because the solar energies are quite intense. So that's part of what makes it Lionsgate. Now, what also makes it Lionsgate is that we understand that when enough humans gather together in a conscious and through a kind of sacred agreement, right? We could say it's a sacred agreement because enough people recognize this date and enough people on the planet say, wow, this date has some significance. So when the people come together and they make an agreement, they say this date has significance, that means enough consciousness is coming together. And when enough consciousness of individuals through free will choice on Earth, free will human choice come together, that makes it even more significant. So anything else about Lionsgate, those are the two things that are first and foremost the most important factors about Lionsgate, in my opinion. And what I'm sharing. Now, because of that, then that consciousness and that agreement, the 8-8 portal becomes very energetically potent and very energetically effective for working in a conscious and deliberate way on that date, right? Now, there's a couple of other things, too. Astrologically, we know that when the sun is in Leo, this date was celebrated in many the ancient Egyptians celebrated it. There are other ancient timelines that recognize this alignment, including other planetary bodies. If you subscribe to, and I do, that there are other planetary bodies that are aware of Earth. They're also in their unique ways going through an ascension journey, an awakening and transformational journey, because when something affects one, something affects everyone. This is the law of one, universal law. So because this is happening not only on Earth, it's happening through consciousness, and consciousness affects everyone. Like we're all part of consciousness. So other planetary bodies are also aware of this date, because not only because all of Earth is aware of it, but because it has been celebrated in other ancient, what we could call timelines or other time-space realities. For example, Egypt, right? So Egyptians noted this, and other planetary bodies noted it, such as, for example, Sirius. So Sirius, which is a star system, they're some of the ones who brought this awareness to us through channeling, right? Through lots of the channels, and I'm a channel. And other ascended masters have been, for example, Thoth or Thoth. Some people, I don't work with this being very often at all. It's not in my collective. I don't interact with him, but I'm aware that he brought that knowledge or this knowledge He was associated with ancient Egypt and Sirius. The goddess Isis, who's also associated with Egypt, ancient Egypt and Sirius, also brought this knowledge to us through channeling. There have been others as well. So all of these reasons are part of the reasons and the significant reasons. There are other beings too, by the way. The goddess Venus brought information through in channeling, and you could do an extensive search about this if you want to research the history of it. But Venus as a goddess and as a planetary body has brought through information about the significance of this thing that we refer to as Lionsgate, and the planet as well, which the goddess Venus is associated with the planetary body Venus. So all of these reasons are why the Lionsgate is relevant and significant. There's a lot of misinformation about it as well, including some of the misinformation has to do with the alignments or exactly, all the things that people come up with. Some of the channelings have been accurate. Some of them haven't been accurate. That's just the nature of channeling. We channelers do our best. I can't speak for others, but we do our best overall to bring through information that's clear and accurate. And we do our best to, we're all here learning and growing. But regardless, the Lionsgate is significant for these reasons. It really is recognized by so many humans, uncountable number of humans, and that makes consciousness pay attention. It's recognized by so many ascended masters. It's recognized by other planetary bodies and star beings. And so on that date, it's like having an important appointment. And because one has an important appointment, a lot of potentials exist. Now, in addition to that, because we're working, if we choose to, work with the higher realms, that intensifies and amplifies the potential for transformation. I'll say a couple of other things too. I'm a numerologist. Many of you may know that. And numerology, when we're dealing with 8 is all about infinity. It's all about abundance. It's all about the expansion of consciousness, the eternal nature of our existence. The flow of transformation, the expansion that comes from or out of contraction. And so 8 is also a significant number in numerology. There is a lot to be said about as well the fact that, I think those are some of the main things, right? I can go on, but my point is that the reason we do activations on these days is because of all of this. Now, there's people who will call it hype, or it's not real, or it's insignificant, and I can appreciate that's their perspective, especially if they don't necessarily believe in this stuff, or especially if they're getting hung up on details of channelings that may have been somewhat inaccurate, or if they're basing it entirely on cosmic things related to some of the astrological interpretations, because astrologers are not necessarily channelers. So astrologers oftentimes refer to, and I love astrology, I'm an astrologer too, right? I am an astrologer. But a lot of astrologers don't necessarily incorporate a channeling. A lot of astrologers are not necessarily spiritual. A lot of astrologers are not necessarily working with angels, archangels, ascended masters, planetary bodies in terms of consciousness. A lot of astrologers are not meditating and receiving information or activating their DNA. So when they translate a lot of information about the Lionsgate, it might not be fully accurate. I don't know. I don't listen to a lot of other people. I get what I get. But what I can say is that for the reasons I mentioned at the onset, that so many people all around the planet come together, that ascended masters do recognize this state, that we do come together as an agreement, that there are other planetary bodies that do recognize, that it is a significant 8-8 portal in terms of numerology, that it is and I want to also go into the concept of portal, that it is really significant in terms of the sun being at its peak and charging us up. Slight detour on this. I teach about this all the time, your 3 days of power on your birthday, which is when the sun, S-U-N of God, shines its light on you, the S-O-N of God, and is powering you up for the year ahead. I talk about your 3 days of power and what to do with them. Those are separate podcasts and separate episodes. I've shared about that. People in my community, in my inner circles know about this. Birthdays are significant. They are very relevant for a similar reason related to the sun. So, okay, coming back to the point, for all these reasons, Lionsgate Portal is very relevant and is really important to work with. And why else? Because people are busy on Earth, right? We're distracted in the physical world. We're trying to get to work, brush our teeth, take our shower, take care of kids, walk the dog, play with the cat, make food, make smart choices, clean up the house, etc., etc., pay the bills, and we get busy. But it's sort of like, if you think about Christmas, it's one of those times where you can actually say, all right, you know what? It's a significant day. I'm going to make time. So Lionsgate becomes incredibly important because consciousness agrees. And so to dismiss it because there's some inaccurate information from some astrologer, or because the skeptical mind or cynical mind finds one piece of mis or disinformation in there, it's almost like you're doing yourself a disservice. I honor the Lion's Gate for all the reasons I've mentioned. And at the same time, I get it. Life on Earth, if you don't get this already, life on Earth is baby bathwater. That is life on Earth. And we get the opportunity to develop discernment and use our discernment in a way that serves best. And to deny the significance of Lionsgate Portal is ridiculous. Now, let me, as I promised, mention the whole thing about a portal. So portals are windows of energetic space and time. I'm not defining it the way a scientist might. I'm not a scientist. I'm a spiritualist. I'm a mentor, a coach, a healer, a channeler, right? I'm in the woo-woo world, and I try my best, do my best with my divine and the collective and the beings I work with, my own higher consciousness, to bring forward whatever information, insight, and energy is as accurate as I can possibly bring it through. But I don't study this stuff in science. So my definition of portal is based on what I've been taught by my divine and my own higher self and higher consciousness. So a portal is a period of time and space, or a window of time and space, in time and space, you could say, an energetic point in time and space. These are all ways we could describe it, where there are no interferences, no blocks, no blockages. So think about what's coming to my mind. What's being shown to me is, if you remember when you were a little kid and they would, we used to play with these. They were like these tubes that they would roll out in the garden, and you just go through the tube, right? Any kind of tube, right? And you go through the tube, and there's no block in the tube. You crawl through the tube, you come out the other side. Now, when you think of that as a portal, what's happening is, because we are working through consciousness with other planetary bodies, other star family races, star systems, higher consciousness, ascended masters, divine goddesses, angel guides, angelic forces, our own higher selves, our higher self aspects, our oversouls, our eternal ever being, beings who are our guides and teachers in the non-physical. All these beings come together because they all recognize these humans on Earth, these other beings, are all coming together on this day in a magnificent way to expand consciousness, to do healing, to do activations, to enjoy transmissions, to benefit, to grow, to evolve, with the intention for positive transformation, positive benefit for all. Now, I can't speak for everybody, but I know that's how we do it. To deny that significance is like saying, here's what it's like saying, well, Jesus Christ wasn't really born on December 25th, so December 25th isn't Christmas. Okay, fine. But the rest of the world is celebrating Christmas or Boxing Day. I mean, most of the world, not everybody, but, for the most part. On December 25th, they're not celebrating it on whatever day Jesus was actually born, which I apologize, I don't even know what day that was. Okay? You could also say, well, the calendar year doesn't really begin on January 1st. It's all these these ancient Georgian monks who changed the calendar date, and Caesar changed the calendar date, and it's not really that, so... Okay, but the rest of the world is celebrating it on January 1st. So it's relevant. And to deny its relevance and how it can help you and serve you, it's like saying, well, your birthday doesn't matter. Okay, well, your birthday doesn't matter except for that the Son of God is shining its light on you, the Son of God, and amplifying you for the year ahead. If you want to deny its relevance, you're denying gifts that are available to you. So I don't deny the relevance of the Lionsgate portal, and I suggest you don't either, because it is one of the few very intense, potent, powerful days of the entire year, when so many conscious humans come together in this kind of collaborative way for positive change, for positive transformation, with the best of intentions overall. And where we are working with beings in these multidimensional realms and aspects and different planes of existence to more fully unify ourselves with more of our higher consciousness, to improve our lives and the way we function, to heal our bodies, our mental, physical, and emotional bodies, our spiritual bodies, our energetic bodies. So to deny Lionsgate to me is quite ignorant. Now, and I'm not using that as a judgment term. It means we're not realizing the scope of it. We're not realizing this incredible monumental opportunity. And we're not understanding why a portal is significant. Because when people come together in a unified way, not just people, ascended masters, planetary bodies, divine goddesses who are ascended masters, higher conscious, other beings from other planets, and all agree in this kind of unified way, that is what creates and contributes to this incredible intensity and the magnificent, powerful, profound, transformational effects that we can receive and benefit from. Now, before I close, I just want to talk a little bit about protecting your energy and this concept. And by the way, if you don't already know this, every Lionsgate I do host an event. I've been doing it now for many, many, many years. And it is profound and powerful. And the people who join us come back year after year. I've got people in that group who've been doing these activations. They never miss it. They come every single year. We do DNA activations, sacred key code activations, star code marking activations, divine template activations, divine scroll activations. These are all aspects of our consciousness, most of which is embedded in the DNA. We get healing. The results that people experience is beyond profound. It is life-changing and transformational beyond measure. People who have had all kinds of health issues get healed. I know it doesn't always happen overnight, but it happens. People who have challenges in their business or challenges with money, resolve them. There's people who have relationship challenges, resolve them. And it's not a pill. It doesn't happen that way. It changes you in the most subtle yet profound ways, brilliantly and beautifully. I've done lots of videos on this. They're all over my YouTube channel and my Awakened Elevated Human podcast. But in any case, you're welcome to join us. It is absolutely a game changer, and it's called the Lionsgate. Well, this one's the 88B DNA Activations webinar. You can head over to LoriSpagna.com and register and join us. It's usually about between 2.5 and 3 hours is the event. We do have a break in there. There's powerful and transformational teaching and channeling, followed by this powerful meditative energy healing kind of energy work and activating the DNA, dormant DNA. Every one of these is always different. I use the Lionsgate portal because it is a significant date, and for all the reasons I have just explained. So I think I know that you will absolutely love it, and hugely benefit from it. If you haven't joined us before, please do. It's at LoriSpagna.com under the Live Events tab. If you've never done one, by the way, you can sample a gifted one. It's very short, but you can learn all about it in a free class called at LoriSpagna.com/free gifts/DNA. So, get yourself on that and get a sample. You'll also get a class on all about the DNA. I'd love to have you join us, and you will love it. I'll also put the link below in the show notes. That said, I do want to just talk a little bit, just briefly, about this concept of protecting your energy. I get it. I am not speaking. What people think all the time is how much you have to protect your energy. And to me, the people who say that you need to protect your energy is because they have not reached a level or a frequency of light, a frequency of illumination, an energetic embodiment of so much light. They don't realize they are still functioning from very 3D, from very much separation or 4D or even early stages 5D, if you understand these concepts, they're still in a state of fear of losing their energy or their energy being attacked or their energy being drained or their energy being leaked. And I completely respect that. I went through it too. I understand. It's not wrong. It's just not the best. Because there is something beyond that, so far beyond. In our circles, we don't need to protect our energy because we are so infused and amplified by the most pure, powerful, potent, transformational energy that nothing and no one can get near us other than the frequencies of light that are so pure, so powerful, so potent, so positively uplifting, so transformational that we become the light that everybody else wants. But nobody can get near unless they actively engage in a way that is aligned with this light. I have not found very many humans on Earth yet who really get this. I don't know of very many humans on Earth who are able to access this. In fact, extremely few. And I've been around the block now for quite a while. I've been in this consciousness realm. I've been around amazing, gifted, powerful healers. And yet I am aware that there are just not that many beings out there in the physical earthly world who know how to do this and who have reached this level of purity. And it's not about comparing. It's not about better or worse. We're all on our journey. We're all learning, growing, evolving in our own unique way. But let me make this clear. If you are a person who is teaching or believing that you have to protect your energy, there's something so much better for you. Because having to protect your energy constantly is playing a game of duality. That energy is good. This energy is bad. This energy is good. That energy is bad. I like this. I don't like that. I want this. I don't want that. This is the game of duality. And you're going to still be in the game of duality, but why not be able to move into an energetic space in the game of duality where you're like, I am the brilliant, beautiful energy that shines so bright, that feels so good, that is always infinitely supplied, that always infinitely is rejuvenated, reinvigorated, resupplied, and that shines so bright for all others so that they can find their way too. That's what we're doing. That's who we are in this group. And that's what we do on Lionsgate Portal. That's also what I do on the other portal activations. The next one, of course, is 999. So I hope you'll join us. It's the DNA Activations webinar on Lionsgate. There's nothing fear-based in this at all. It's all about total transformation while still having a body so that you can have a better life, live a better life, and live life in a better way. Live life in a better way. Because walking around being afraid of other people's energies or being upset by other people's energies or feeling drained, depleted, and exhausted by other energy in the world is not a way to live either. No matter how enlightened you think you are, right? There's more. There's something better. And you will love becoming more of the light that you are, the brilliance that you are, the magnificence that you are, because it's waiting for you inside of you, from within you. But it does require active participation. And it won't happen by trying to constantly protect your energy field. That's just another exhausting and debilitating way of operating. All right, I hope this has been helpful. I hope you will join me for the Lionsgate Portal coming up on 8/8. You will love it and hugely and magnificently benefit from it. The link is at my website at LoriSpagna.com. The name of the event is Speed Activations, DNA Activations. It's a sacred key code, star code marking activations, right? Everything's based on conscious free will. Nothing happens without you being fully, wholly, and completely aware of it and consenting of your own free will. So you learn all about it. You will learn so much, and even better than learning through the brain, you will have direct experience that is truly profound. So it's at the website. I'll also put the link in the show notes below. Please join us. You will love it. All right. Until then, until next time, I'm going to sign off for now. I'm sending you so much love and, of course, wishing you your most benevolent best. All right. Farewell for now. Bye-bye.